You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Frank and Frankie talking about their ideas on ways you can be working now to better prepare for your financial future. ABetterWayFinancial.com is where you can start the conversation with the entire team about your own retirement savings plans. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or again, find us at ABetterWayFinancial.com. Gentlemen, 'tis the season for us to all to be very, 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 very cold. What? It's never enough warning. It's like we know, it's just like any holiday. We always know that it's coming, and yet we never seem prepared. Before we came on the air today, Frank was already talking to me about how he's bribing his wife, Kim, with Florida vacations to keep her happy.
Yes. And I am ready for spring already.
I know.
It's like winter just started.
I know, right? And here we are.
Buckle up.
Baffled by it again.
No, you walk out and it's in the 20s and I'm like, oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A little bit intense. The other thing we were talking about, though, is warming ourselves by the smoker that is at Frank Guida's house and all the foods that are being prepared.
Yes.
And then I was saying, this is great. Now I'm hungry and all I want to do is eat, and we got to do a radio program.
Getting ready to cook that Christmas brisket.
It is the feeding frenzy season time of year.
Yes.
But when it comes to the work you do, I mean, listen, this is a year-round thing. Everything that gets done at A Better Way Financial, because no matter what the season, no matter what the holiday, we're always, of course, thinking about our money, particularly for folks who are close to or in their retirement years, wanting to make sure that all of the holidays yet to come are going to be happy ones. And so the idea then, I mean, the concern that so many Americans have when it comes to our national debt, all of us can relate. But the thing that's so wild about it is it's so big, it's hard to fathom this number. Back in 1994, our debt, it was at $4.7 trillion. Now, here we are 30 years later, and it is nearly $36 trillion, guys. To give you some perspective, that would kind of be like a family with a household income of $50,000 a year having credit card debt of $330,000.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going away.
Right. It feels like something that could never be fixed. And it makes you think that even if the Trump tax cuts are extended, sooner or later, so many of us believe the taxes are going to have to go up. So when it comes to protecting our money, is there a planning process that we can implement, something we can do now to take advantage of the current lower rates?
Yeah, there's absolutely planning that we can do to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for our future so that you're paying the least amount in taxes that you can over the course of your lifetime. Because if you just continue to ride it out and say, well, eventually the taxes are going to go up, but I'm not going to do any planning yet.
Right.
I'm just going to kind of wait for it to go up, and then what happens, then you're going to pay a lot more in taxes than you need to. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about working with us at A Better Way Financial is we are proactive. We are proactively looking at what can we do to minimize your tax burden. And it's not something that we just look at from an accountant point of view where it's a little bit more reactive. It's, well, what happened last year? And what can I do to try to save you money in taxes? It's proactive. It's what's going to happen over the next 10, 20, 30 years, and what can we do to minimize your tax burden over that time period?
Okay.
You know, Frankie, a lot of folks out there, they don't know that there's a difference between an accountant and a tax planner. You know, an accountant is someone that's looking through the rearview mirror, and he's saying, hey, how can I save these folks money on their taxes for last year? But what a tax planner is doing is he's looking through the windshield and saying, hey, how can we rearrange things so that we pay the least amount of taxes throughout the rest of our lives? And guess which one saves the most money?
Got to be the person that's looking ahead.
Absolutely. It's the tax planner, you know?
Yeah.
They have the most to work with. They're seeing the picture. They're seeing the future. They're showing people how to set things up correctly.
Yeah, and there's so many opportunities that we have to look within a person's portfolio and find extra money that they can save in taxes. And one of those places is we look at their non-qualified accounts, which is basically their money that they saved into the bank and then later invested.
So explain explain non-qualified, Frankie. That means they saved into the bank. This is money that has not yet been taxed.
It has already been taxed.
Okay,
so
got it.
you got paid, you saved it into your bank,
Okay.
you're using after-tax money, and then you invest it.
Got it.
So that type of money, there's actually a way to be able to save money in taxes by enjoying long-term capital gains instead of short-term capital gains. And unpacking that for you, it's basically just allowing that money to stay in a brokerage account, stay in an ETF or a mutual fund or stock or whatever it's invested in for longer than 1 year. You're able to enjoy a long-term capital gain rather than a short-term capital gain. Now, the difference in this is usually substantial. So you might be working, if you're making 100, 200,000, you might be in the 22, 24% tax bracket. But that's for your ordinary income. Okay. For long-term capital gains, you might only be at a 15% tax bracket. Okay. So instead of paying 22 or 24%, by having the funds in there longer than 1 year, you're actually able to pay only 15% in taxes by utilizing that strategy. And some people have stocks that they've had for a long time or mutual funds or ETFs that they've had for a long time, and we're able to determine how much should we sell in this year, how much should we sell in next year to make sure that you're minimizing your tax burden across different tax years as well, so that you can make sure that over your lifetime you're paying the least amount in taxes that you can. So this is something that's all part of the A Better Way planning. We also help with the distribution. So when you need to take income in retirement, what is the most tax efficient way to get that income out of your portfolio? We help you to determine where you should take it from first and at what different stages you need to take from different buckets of money. We look into how to save into the 401ks tax efficiently. Sometimes it makes sense to save pre-tax in your 401ks. Sometimes it makes sense to save Roth into those 401ks. So it's something that we'll evaluate to see what makes the most sense over the course of your lifetime. And we also look into Roth conversions to see if you have a lot of money saved into those IRAs or saved into those 401ks, how do we transition that more and more tax-free over the course of your lifetime? And what is the correct amount that you need to do each year throughout your retirement so that you're saving the most that you can in taxes? And this is all part of our tax planning that we do here at A Better Way Financial. And we personalize this for each and every person who comes in to meet with us. We look at your specific tax picture, look at your tax returns. Let's see what it looks like. And then we'll be able to show you, here are the strategies that you can use to save money in taxes over the course of your lifetime. So if you haven't had a tax professional look through your tax return, look through your investments to make sure that you're saving the most in taxes over the course of your lifetime, you're probably paying lots more in taxes than you need to.
You know, Frankie, it kind of reminds me of the fella that came in the other day. He was 63 years old, and he works for one of the local companies, and 2 kids, and he wanted to retire. You know, he didn't know when he was going to retire, either summer 25 or summer 26, but he wanted to know if he was on track. You know, is he going to be able to do it? You know, this guy, he likes to golf, he likes to hike, likes to travel. What he wanted to do was have a reliable income throughout his retirement and not have too much market risk. And he really wanted to see if he could save some money on his taxes. By the time we were done looking at his taxes and all, he had a $1.2 million portfolio. He had a significant amount in IRA and 401k money. You know what he was able to save? $383,000 in taxes throughout the rest of his life. And then when he passes the estate on to the kids, it's another $158,000 in taxes.
Wow.
Just the tax savings alone really had him leaning now toward this summer instead of waiting toward next summer.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, and what we were able to show him to do, too, is by saving this amount in taxes, by setting up the portfolio the right way for his retirement, he's able to live on more income. He was currently projected, he's like, I'm currently living on about $4,000 a month, about $48,000 of income per year. But I want to see, what does it look like? If I'm able to live on more income, I want to know. I want to see what that looks like so I can enjoy it. I saved this money so that I can enjoy it over the course of my retirement. And we showed him, we said, hey, here's where you're currently at. If you want to retire in the summer of 2025, you absolutely can. And you can afford to spend $70,000 of after-tax income each year for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So we're looking at $22,000 more of income each year for the rest of his life in retirement. If he wanted to retire in summer of 2026, it actually went up even further to $73,000 of income every single year. So an extra $25,000 more than he was currently living on right now. And just by showing him, just by saying, hey, this is what it looks like, wouldn't you want to know how much income you could live on by setting up your portfolio tax efficiently and making sure that you're paying the least amount in taxes over the course of your lifetime? Well, that's something that we can find for you today. All you have to do is go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the sign up now button, and we can begin to work on a personalized tax plan for you.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so if it's more convenient, you can just click there, or again, find us anytime at abetterwayfinancial.com.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.